Let's Chat.
Next up in the hot seat, we have our friend Chuck Miller here with Hixson Transmission, Total Car Care, Speedy's, Grant's Auto Trim. Pretty much if your car, believe me, what he has to offer your car needs at some point. Chuck, good to see you in person. It's been a while.
Couple months. Back in February.
We're going to start briefly with the new home for Grant's Auto Trim.
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. You guys have moved from here on Broad Street.
On Broad Street.
Where's your new location?
We're at 4704 Dodds Avenue, a couple blocks down from B's Restaurant in the old Griffith Cycle building.
Everybody knows where B's Restaurant and, of course, Griffith Cycle was located. Congratulations on the move, and you and I were talking, and you found tons of things. Moving anytime is not the most pleasant experience in the world, but in moving out of your old building here on Broad Street, you found tons of inventory that was just amazing.
Well, the place had been there for over 70 years.
Right.
It's 12,000 square feet. So there was inventory that they had in there that, had been sitting back for years. So we're in the middle of getting all that stuff put together so that we can get it out to the public. I mean, there's stuff there that's older than I am for sure. So there's a lot of stuff in there, a lot of stuff.
All right, now we're going to talk, we're going to shift gears and talk about Speedy's oil change, and you do much more than just oil changing at Speedy's, right?
Yeah.
Give us the whole rundown.
Speedy's Oil and Auto, they're just quick lubes. They just do the oil changes and the air filters and services like that. The Speedy's Transmission and Total Car Care, we do complete everything on your car except for body work and interior, which would go to Grant's.
Right.
But it's brakes, tune-ups, check engine lights, fix them through emissions, whatever.
And your staff there, without going into a whole lot of detail, I found the tire indicator light on my vehicle showed that I had a way worn tire, and pulled into one of your locations and said, could you possibly check this for me? They checked it, they repaired it instantly, and they did so with a smile. And a lot of times that determines whether a customer goes back for repeat services or not.
Exactly. Customer service is almost a lost art, and that's one of the things that I talk to my guys about constantly is communicating with the customer and get them in and get them out as quick as possible. And that's our whole goal at the Fast Lubes is to get you in, get your oil changed, get your car checked, and get you back on the road so you can go pick up your kids, so you can get to your doctor's appointment, get to work or whatever.
All right, as we're getting into the warmer days of late spring, summer's right around the corner, obviously, and we're looking at temperatures that will routinely be into the 90s, and there are things we probably should do that many of us don't think of until it's too late when we get into hot weather. Tell us what you guys can do and help us out in that respect.
Well, when you come into the quick lubes, the thing that they're going to do is kind of do a quick inspection, and one of the things that they really need to look at when the hot weather comes in, because with the heat you get the dry, and anything that's rubber, your engine mounts, your serpentine belts, your tires, stuff that'll dry rot and crack and stuff like that, they'll actually go around and check all your tire pressures and look at the tires to see if there's any dry rot, see if they're wearing uneven and stuff like that. Anything that's rubber right now, your hoses, those are the things that will put you down as you're traveling, and we try to get them in and out and checked as fast as possible.
And when those things go out, your car's not going anywhere.
That's it, yep.
Not for a while. And one of the things that you have always taught us is to be a little proactive when it comes to this. Don't wait until the hoses are cracking. Don't wait until the belts are frayed.
Yeah.
Because that could cause a lot of additional cost when it does come time to get it fixed.
And what's crazy about the thing is you would pop your hood and you would look at the belts and see the dry rotting and cracking and know it's time to replace them.
You can't see them now.
And if you do see them, it's made of a completely different material, and they don't dry rot and crack like they used to. They actually wear. And without putting a tool in there to check the depth of that, you won't know that the belt is bad. And the thing about it is you look at the belt, it looks good, you don't see any issues, but it actually, when it's running and they don't squeal anymore.
Right.
The new belts don't squeal. So if it's spinning on those pulleys, it'll actually overheat your alternator, overheat your water pump, your AC compressor, and actually cause damage in the end, and you're driving down the road and no clue that there's a problem going on.
And battery check. A lot of people think winter's the worst time on batteries. That's not necessarily the case, right?
Well, temperature. Really hot
Extremes.
Or really cold, and I mean the battery's under the hood, so it's hot underneath there anyway. You get a 95-degree day and your engine's running, it could be 150, 180 degrees underneath your hood. So the extreme temperatures make a big difference with the batteries.
And one of the beautiful things about your service centers is if one of your techs comes out and says, hey, this part is bad, they have another one ready to go to replace it.
Put it
it's
in,
not like
yep.
someone's got to go to the auto parts store, bring back 2 or 3 things, you take your pick. They've got the same thing.
We try to keep as
ready
much
to
in
go
stock
there.
as possible.
One final question for you. As you acquire more centers, you're trying to keep them under the same name. Why? Just out of curiosity.
It's common. And if you come into one of my shops, the Quick Lube or whatever, you get an air freshener hanging from your mirror, and it's got all of our locations on it. So if you're on one side of town or the other, and your check engine light comes on, you have a low tire or whatever, you can look up there and see where we're at on which side of town. So you're not having to think, I got to drive all the way back to Hixson, or I have to go all the way back to Georgia or whatever.
Right.
That way, it's just convenient for everybody. And if you get the same signal for everybody, it makes it easier to find.
Sounds like great advice. Chuck, good to see you again. You'll be back over the coming weeks. You take your car to Speedy's Transmission and Total Car Care. HixsonTransmission.com, the website. That's HixsonTransmission.com.